Welcome to Vinesh Phogat. Namaste to all my fellow Indians. Vanakkam. Vande Mataram. I'm recording this video minutes before Vinesh Phogat is expected to touch down in Delhi. Undoubtedly, she is the brightest point of international consciousness as far as the Summer Olympics held in Paris of 2024 is concerned. Everything else, in my opinion, pales into insignificance as compared to the saga of Vinesh. And as she touches down on the soil of Bharat Mata, I salute her. I welcome her. But let me make it very clear as to the capacity in which she is being welcomed. I am a citizen of India, that's my capacity. What do I see in her? How do I evaluate her relevance to the sports culture of India, to our sense of belonging together as a nation, our sense of national pride, and above all, our sense of fellow human being as brothers and sisters belonging together in one nation, one country. Let me put it as simply and bluntly as I can. I welcome Vinesh Phogat as a living martyr of Indian sports and games. That's precisely how I see her, and I cannot put it in a way crisper than this or simpler than this. This is exactly what it is, without any frills added, without any iota of significance reduced. She's quite simply, honestly, purely a living martyr of Indian sports and games. Now, here, of course, I need to explain to you as to what I mean by this concept of living martyr, because in India, as in perhaps all over the world, a martyr is supposed to be one who is dead. Then, how do I say martyr? Now, in my line of thinking, and that is actually the philosophical line of thinking, the significant aspect of martyrdom is not death, though in popular perception that seems to be the case. Or in popular perception, no one becomes a martyr unless and until he or she is dead. This is a gross misunderstanding of the idea of martyrdom. And in order to help us understand why I say so, let me take the root meaning of the word martyr. Obviously, this word, M-A-R-T-Y-R, pronounced martyr, is a word of Greek origin, marturia. In the Greek language, in the Greek context, the word martyr, derived from marturia, simply meant a witness. Please understand, the word meant only a witness. Who is a witness? One who affirms the value, the worth of something and goes to any extent in doing so. And in the process, a person may lay down his or her life, and many have done in the past. For example, if a person attaches absolute value, incomparable worth to one's country, that person voluntarily lays down his life in defense of the country, so he or she becomes a martyr for the nation, for the country. Here, death is incidental. What is central and what is indefeasible is affirmation of a value. Death is the incidental consequence of that affirmation. So, the first thing we have to really remember is that death is not the heart of the matter. It is life that's the heart of the matter. All values pertain to life, not death. And therefore, values are to be affirmed only in relation to life and for the sake of life. And therefore, the common denominator to all martyrs is that they committed themselves unequivocally to affirming certain supreme values. Now, if a person stands steadfast by any of these supreme values or all of them, and does everything possible to affirm and uphold these values, that person, technically speaking, correctly speaking, must still be valued as a martyr, even if his commitment does not involve his death. That's martyrdom correctly understood. That's not martyrdom as popularly understood. I understand. That's the reason why I'm trying to correct this popular misconception. Please remember that a martyr is no more than a witness. And a witness, who is a witness? Now, that's the second word we must understand. A witness is one who says the same thing. See, very often, in order to think, not often, always, in order to think clearly, we must understand the meanings of the words that we use. Unfortunately, the word witness is used more often in the context of religion, and therefore the word has actually lost its meaning. Now, the word also is used in the context of jurisprudence, in the context of court practices. There are witnesses when a case is being tried or the accused is being tried. The prosecution will marshal evidence. As part of that, you'll also produce before the presiding judge witnesses. Now, who is a witness? A witness is one who says the same thing. And what does it mean to say the same thing? To tell the truth. One of the Latin poets, I think it was Horace, if I am not mistaken, if I remember right, defines truth as saying the same thing. Whereas a person who is uttering falsehood will change his views. Did you see this person on Monday? Yes, I saw him. Another day you ask him, did you see this person on Monday? No, I saw him on Tuesday or Wednesday. So, not saying the same thing or saying different things about the same situation, same person, such a person is a false witness as against a true witness. You don't have to say true witness, because witness means true. Therefore, the essence of martyrdom is witness, that is, saying the same thing. Now, you say the same thing even at peril of losing your life. You affirm and uphold the same thing even at risk of death. And it, in a majority of cases, eventuates into death, and therefore a martyr also dies. Whereas I again emphasize, death is incidental and not essential to martyrdom. But the ultimate proof that a person attaches absolute value to a particular ideal, a particular entity, is that the person is willing to lay down his life. So, I hope this much is clear. Now, from this background, let's look at Vinesh Phogat. She is coming back to India. But please remember what her Hungarian coach said about that fatal night. After Vinesh had won the 3 bouts, which took her to the final title bout, in the course of which she defeated the number 1 wrestler in her category, the Japanese wrestler. She was found to be 2.7 kilograms overweight, weight in excess of the 50 kilogram cutoff. And the coach gives us blood-curdling details of how she tried to shed her weight, 2.7 kilograms of weight overnight. Can you imagine such a thing? I challenge any one of you to shed 2.7 kilograms of weight in 1 month, and then you will see for yourself. Try and shed 2.7 kilograms of weight in 3 days. not one night. You will die. I assure you, you will die. Don't try, therefore. Please don't try. And her coach, who knows her best, says in explicit terms that all the time Vinesh was trying desperately to shed her weight so that she comes within the prescribed upper limit of 50 kilograms. Exercising throughout the night, she could manage to shed 1.5 kilograms up to midnight. And from midnight to 5 a.m., she exercised with 10 minutes intervals. And after all that, she virtually collapsed. And her coach tells us that he was worried that Vinesh might die. That Vinesh might die. In other words, in full awareness of what risk was involved, she risked her life for the sake of the nation. She was so desperate to make the cut, not necessarily because she wanted to flaunt an Olympic medal, gold or silver, and even if she wanted to flaunt a silver or gold, who can fault her? It is nothing indecent or dishonorable. But going by her statement, she wanted to win that medal for her country. Here is an athlete who was willing to die for her country, who came to the brink of death for the sake of her country and yet did not make it. This is a most heart-rending event in my memory of Indian sports history. Nothing comes anywhere near it. And yet, it's better not to say anything about how she has been treated, because it's not this occasion for me to sound aggrieved. This is a time for us to rejoice, time for us to celebrate, time to acknowledge and feel elated that there is still the sterling quality left in our fellow Indians. The awesome willpower to face and overcome daunting obstacles and to perform in spite of hell. To bring honor and laurels to the country against incredible, blood-curdling odds. To believe that nothing is impossible. Therefore, today I say, I don't know about Narendra Modi, if Vinesh Phogat hai, to sab mumkin hai. If Vinesh hai, to sab kuch mumkin hai. Or, let me put it more accurately, if Indians imbibe the spirit of Vinesh, sab kuch mumkin hai, everything is possible, everything is within our reach. That is why I say that she needs to be now recognized as the living martyr for Indian sports and games. Having said that, I am going to slightly amend my statement. I would rather recognize her, and I urge all of you to consider this. I recognize Vinesh Phogat as the living martyr of the spirit of India. The spirit of India. This is what we need to be. If every Indian could be like this, or even 1% of Indians could be like this, India will be the #1 country in the world for all ages to come. How will we recognize this spirit? How will we value this example? How will we celebrate this life? And therefore, even though I have no authority to do so, in my private capacity as a citizen of India, who at the moment has nothing active to do with sports and games, in my heart of hearts and nowhere else, I confer on her the Khel Ratna. She is my Khel Ratna. I say it again, she is my Khel Ratna. And I hasten to add, or hasten to repeat what I said as preface to this. I have no authority to do so. Therefore, my conferring anything on her makes no sense. But yes, it makes a lot of sense in my emotional life. I would say that doing anything less would be a terrible disservice not only to Vinesh but also to every sports loving Indian, every self-respecting Indian. And I also want to conclude by saying, I wish, rather than crave for Olympic gold medals, we develop a culture of promoting excellence in sports, in particular, not letting politics interfere with this process and make a mess, a muck of the whole thing. If our athletes can be left to themselves with the facilities that they require, and if this political back-breaking encumbrance can be taken off, India will do excellently well. I also have a practical suggestion to make. India has come home without a single gold medal. India can win at least 30 gold medals if every state is encouraged to adopt one event. Odisha has shown us the way. Odisha adopted hockey and see it is paying off dividends. There's a tremendous transformation that has already come about in our hockey culture. Let Kerala take up volleyball if it likes, and other states accordingly. Let each state adopt a particular game or a particular track and field event. If it is sprinting, sprinting, if it is jump, jump, if it is javelin, javelin, discus, hammer, whatever, and concentrate on that. Concentrate, and one state should concentrate only on one event. But, and this is the most important thing I have to say, from my experience of both having been a very small time sports person at the school level, very small, you can't even see it, that small. Whether it is football, hockey, basketball, volleyball, what have you, the foundation of everything is athletics. So, all states have to promote athletics. Athletics must become an integral part of the general culture of India. Athletics must be promoted in all institutions, but not to the extent that academics are sidelined. There's a proportionality to be maintained. Athletics must be promoted. But beyond that, every state must adopt just one game, one event, and concentrate on that with special emphasis. Go all out to promote excellence in that particular event. And I tell you, if this can be done for 10 years, I mean, results of the Olympics level cannot be produced just, like rubbing Alauddin's lamp and saying, open sesame or whatever. A lot of work, a lot of consistent, devoted, hard work goes into producing excellence at the international level. This can be done. But we don't want to do any of these things. We want medals. 140 crore people and no gold medals. Arey, how will you have gold medals when you have done nothing for it? The effective population of India from the point of view of sports and games is not 140 crores, it's not even 1 crore. How many people have sports facilities? How many people have encouragement? How many people have financial support? Who identifies these talents? In India, it's an accident that somebody's talent is spotted and then given the opportunity to be developed. We don't have a culture of seeking out talent and nurturing them and bringing them up to global standards. Just as we don't have a commitment to a culture of excellence in education, in anything for that matter, and yet we want to be world beaters. Now this is hypocrisy, it is stupidity. We have to outgrow all of this. And that is why I tell you, my heart burns when I think of Vinesh Phogat. Oh, she's so great. She's so marvelous. She is, let me say this again, she is the living martyr of India's dream of excellence. She is also my ultimate icon of patriotism. She is my Jhansi Rani of patriotism, my contemporary Jhansi Rani of patriotism. Vinesh, if I were in Delhi, I would have come to the airport. I would have hugged you like my daughter. I would have celebrated you. I would have sung about you. for the rest of my life. And I'll do so even from here, from Kerala, I'll do so. And if the slightest indifference is shown to Vinesh, India will insult and expose herself. And politicians who dare to do so, for whatever reasons, will have to pay a heavy price. The people of India will not forgive any insult or indifference inflicted on Vinesh Phogat. She is a national icon. She is our heart's joy and delight. She is our beacon of national pride. Jai Hind.